How now? Raise the arm that is your writing hand. Cool! Oh, raise not that normal of a position. You have to remember, human beings, 200,000 years on the planet. Mayan civilization, give or take 10, 12,000 years. Not a normal position. So, what we're going to do to release the bicep is, does everyone know what you call a bicep? Two heads, You're not going to be able to find the minor. If you, fun fact, bodybuilders actually have the bicep minor cut so that it balls up at the bottom, so they get a really good look at the bicep. It's non-functional. You don't actually need it. It's not a big deal. So what you're going to do is take these two fingers, or these three fingers. You're going to pinch the ball of the muscle here. And what you're going to do is very slowly move the arm up and down. And what you want to do is kind of parcel through, like, don't listen to me, don't look at, well, listen to me, don't look at me. But kind of look off in space or close your eyes and pay attention to the texture in your hand. It's going to tell you where to go. Between the texture in the muscle and the soreness, you're going to know where your spot is. For many people that have shoulder issues or bicep tension, the bicep wants to glue itself to the bone for extra stability. So if you feel like it's really deep in there, try to get behind it. Literally try to grab the muscle and kind of pull it away from the bone and then flex on it. You'll feel it. If you're Colin, who teaches, the other class, this is not possible. His biceps are way too big. Somebody would have to manually place their fingers in between the bone and the bicep. But for all of us, we don't have that problem. And you'll notice if it's very, very high, if you have soreness that's really high up near this indentation here, that means the tendon is probably irritated. AKA, if you have it very, very low, that probably means that the low tendon is irritated that attaches at the elbow. Which means you probably also get elbow pain. Or at least that morning pop. Where you wake up in the morning and your elbows are like, has anybody ever done that? And then the other thing is, just pay attention as you're doing this. Does your arm straighten? So just to show you the difference, this arm does not straighten very clearly, right? See that? That's not a straight arm. That arm straightens. Most of us have one that does and one that doesn't if you've ever sustained an injury. Yeah. You can also tell through external rotation. So you can see the difference. This was from an injury. All right, other arm. So this is probably your non-dominant arm. Again, pay close attention to the texture. What does it feel like? We don't have time to get through the triceps and everything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the bicep and we're going to do the finger extensors. Sorry, the finger contractors, flexors, because those are the overused things on most people. So we're going to aim for the lowest hanging fruit. Oh, and here's another thing. You can start to make circles too. Because the bicep, although it is a linear muscle and it attaches to one linear joint, it's not attached to the other linear joint. This is a ball joint, by far and away the least stable joint in the human body is a ball joint. That's why the ball joints get layers and layers and layers of muscle that controls them. Like your hip. You have gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, paraform. There's so much stuff in there just to hold that ball joint stable. Same thing up here. You have 3 layers of muscle that go into the joint. You have the big movers, you have the latissimus dorsi and pectoralis. And then you've got the lesser muscles, the pec minor, serratus anterior, the rhomboid, all the stuff that attaches to the scapula. And then you have the lesser muscles underneath that, which are the rotator cuff muscles. So you have these 3, this pyramid-like structure for gross motor movement and scapular movement and then rotation, which is kind of neat. All right, so now we're going to do the forearms. Okay, two options on this one. So option one is going to be your palm, okay, or even your forearm. Option two is going to be your knee. And I'll show you. So the way this works is I take my arm and I lay it on the ground. I take my other arm and I literally, now watch my fingers. That's how much pressure I'm putting there. If I put enough pressure on these, my hand curls right up. Because I'm shortening muscle intentionally. And then what I'm going to do is very gently open and close my hand. And I can feel, like for me, the sore spot is right there, so I'm going to put my elbow in that. So that's forearm. I highly recommend starting with that. In time, if that gets easy, you can switch to the knee. You can control the amount of pressure with the knee. Okay? So, find your forearm. Oh, that feels so good. You would be shocked to find out that if I release tension in your forearms, it can actually reduce your shoulder pain. Because so just like foot function is related to glute function, shoulder function is related to grip function. You would not believe how many lifters that are in here every day get shoulder pain from the fact that their forearms are overused. Try to get as high up on near the elbow as you can. Otherwise, you're not getting the pressure. Is everybody feeling this?
Yeah, what about your circulation? You worry about it?
You're actually increasing circulation, if anything. Because you're not, there's so much blood supply that goes into there. If you manage to cut it all off, you're probably feeling the tension more than anything through the tendons. Now remember, you want to definitely be where there's symmetrical tattoos here, where the knee is. Because otherwise, all right, we're going to switch arms. You're all good sports. Anybody, which forearm is sore, your dominant hand or your secondary hand? Most people are going to be dominant.
Arms.
Now, one thing to remember too is that as you are putting tension on the forearm and using your extensors to open your hand, you're actually also helping